Welcome to the Lovestead.
I just took this hoodie out of the dryer and it's so warm and nice. Hello everybody, welcome back to Lady Lovestead Reads. My name is Jessica and this is what I think is going to be a series sampler reading vlog. So if you've been keeping up with my vlogs, you know that I've had kind of a difficult fall so far. I got COVID and my father passed, and there's some other pretty substantial things happening in my personal life that aren't good. I am healthy, so it's nothing like health-wise or anything like that for me. There's just some not great stuff happening. So my content for BookTube has not been as frequent or I haven't been doing the same kind of videos that I normally do, like my wrap-ups and my TBRs and stuff like that, tag videos. Lately, it's primarily been vlogs because vlogs are the easiest for me to manage. For whatever reason, I'm having a lot of trouble getting my thoughts together to do like a sit-down video. And the vlogging is easier for me to fit in with everything that I've got going on in my life and going on in a typical day. This is Pippi. If you haven't met Pippi, if you're new here, this is Pippi. She is my newest kitten. I will link you to a vlog up here where I found her and adopted her. She's a wild thing, if you can't tell. She is just constantly playing. I think she's teething, so she chews on everything. My little one. So, what? What? Do you want down? Okay, you can get down. Look, it's our friends. Oh no, she's gotta go. She's gonna go do some things. So the idea that I had for this particular vlog is doing what I'm calling a series sampler, where I'm trying out the first book in a couple of different series. And what I'd like to do is like a cozy mystery series, a romance, and a fantasy. Sorry, still getting over COVID. I am in the middle of a cozy mystery. So I'm struggling lately to read a lot because with my dad passing, we're trying to get all of his estate and stuff taken care of. I've fallen behind on work and school, and I'm having to pick up a lot of extra work and side jobs to pay for everything that's going on right now. So the time that I've had to spend reading has been limited, but thankfully I am caught up on some things. I've got some other things sort of sorted out and figured out. And honestly, my mental health needs the reading right now. Like, I need to be able to escape into a book right now for my mental health. Before fall and before, like, basically my world turned upside down, I was reading about 100 pages a day. And I would like to carve out time to do that again because I need it. I need it very much. I'd also been traveling and doing some other things that got in the way of reading. But now I'm not taking another trip until March. So I can kind of woo-saw. I can get back to my routines. And I very much need that. Long story short, what I'm saying is I think I'm finally in a place to be able to read more. Because like in September I read like 4 books, in October I read 2 books, and usually I read between 12 and 15 books a month, so those are like really abysmal numbers for me. And I would also hope that at some point in November I will be up to posting some actual sit-down videos for you. Like I want to do an September-October wrap-up where I just combine them since I only read like very little books. And then I have some announcements to make about the Middle Grade Appreciation Society that I want to share with you. And so hopefully I will have the capacity to do that here in November. That's just kind of an overview of where I'm at right now. Like, I'm not leaving BookTube or anything like that. I'm just stretched very thin. I have a lot of life-changing things happening in the background. This is what I have the capacity for, is vlogging. But the good news is, I think you guys like my vlogs. I think you enjoy them. I think you enjoy seeing the critters and the gardening and whatever shenanigans I get up to. That's that. Let's talk about what I'm reading, because this is BookTube. Right? We do talk about books from time to time. I'm reading on my Kindle right now one that I have talked about in my last vlog, which was my vlog where I went to Chicago. I never wrapped that vlog up because I actually lost a lot of the footage. It went poof, as footage tends to do, and like some other files got corrupted. So I was never able to like wrap up how things ended in that vlog, but I never finished the book that I'm reading, which is called In the Company of Witches. And I have to look up who wrote it. Hold please. Okay, so it's called In the Company of Witches by Orally Wallace, and it is book 1 of the Evenfall Witches Bed and Breakfast series. I think there's only 2 books in this series so far. I'm about halfway through. So this is a cozy mystery. I'm really enjoying it. It's gotten some mixed reviews. So this was a book selection for a new book club called The Cozy Hollow, hosted by LaurenLoveReads and I think Liv's Library, and there might be one other, I can't remember. All these book clubs have multiple hosts and I struggle to remember all of the people that host them. But I'll link them in the description box down below. So anyway, the book club is called The Cozy Hollow, which is just like, I've said it before, but like it is the most cozy book club name you could ever think of, and it just gives me the warm fuzzies. I love it so much. And this is the first book selection for that book club. I missed the live show. The live show was October 28th, so I did not get this finished in time to attend the live show, but I will loop back and watch it when I do finish it. This is about Bren, who lives at a bed and breakfast called Ivy Hollow or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my name. It probably says so here in the description. Ivywood, something with ivy in it. So they run this bed and breakfast, and she's got 2 aunties she lives with, Nora and I'm having so much trouble with names. I think it's Nora and Lizzie. They're all witches, okay? And Bren has had some trauma in her past to where she's sort of lost her magic and she's lost her ability to do magic. And her talent with magic was seeing ghosts and being able to talk to ghosts. So they have this guest that stays at the bed and breakfast, and she's like very antagonistic and demanding and just like not a great person to, you know, spend a lot of time with or to serve in the service industry. She's kind of a Karen, and so she dies, and they think it's because she just like falls down and hits her head on the bathtub. But then the police are like, no, she was murdered. And I don't know why the police are French, but they do think that she got murdered, and they've got their eye on Nora. They've got their eye on Nora. She is the prime suspect of this murder, because since this guest was being so horrible, right before she died, Nora was all like, I'm gonna kill her, right? A neighbor overheard her saying that, so of course she's like the #1 suspect. So Bryn is trying to solve the mystery to clear her aunt's name, and I like this book. It is very cozy. I do think witchy cozies are kind of my je ne sais quoi. Why am I speaking so much French tonight? They're my jam when it comes to cozies. I think one of the sort of tropes or themes that I think I really like in cozies is witchy cozies. Because another series that I like that's a cozy mystery series that is objectively not well written and it's objectively not like super good, but I absolutely love it, and it's the Spellford Cove series, and that features a witch as the sleuth. So I I don't know, I think I just really like that trope, and I am liking this. This is giving me hardcore The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina vibes because the main character, the MC, lives with her two aunties, and one of them is like this redhead. Nora is a redhead. And like her, I do think this book is heavily, heavily influenced by The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina for multiple reasons. One, because it's like the two aunts, and the one aunt has red hair, and the way her dialogue reads, it's almost, you can hear that actress who plays Zelda on Sabrina. You can hear her like saying the dialogue in this book. And if you picture her, you fan cast her saying that dialogue, it makes the dialogue better. If you don't, then the dialogue's kind of campy and weird. So if you really just picture Zelda from The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina speaking the dialogue, it works. Like, it works really, really well. And then Izzy is like the blonde sister. And then they have a black cat named Faustus. And like, Faustus is one of the most important characters in Sabrina, right? And then there's one other character named Theo. And there's a character in Sabrina named Theo. So I do think that this writer has been heavily influenced by The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, because like, that can't be a coincidence. You know what I mean? It just can't be. And so as I'm reading it, I'm picturing the actors and actresses from that show playing these different characters, and it's making me really like the book a lot. I'm also picturing the bed and breakfast to look a lot like their house that they have on the show, and it just is making it come to life for me, because I absolutely love The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I'm actually rewatching it right now because I never finished the last season, so I'm rewatching it all so that I can watch the last season and finish it out. But yeah, it's been a fun little ride, and I'm really enjoying it so far. There was a line in here that also I thought was a really well-written line. Let me pull it up. I highlighted it in my Kindle. This line, like, Bren is talking to her aunties, and they're telling her, like, you're stuck because of this trauma that she had in her past. They're like, oh, you're stuck, you're not moving forward with your life. And she says, I wouldn't say I was stuck. I was changed. There's a difference. I love that. And I thought this was also a really well-written line. Bren was trying to describe her Aunt Nora and what she's like. And she says, Nora was a lot like a tiger in a cage, or a tiger in a rickety cage. Beautiful to look at and dangerous. I like that imagery. So yeah, so far I'm really enjoying it. How far am I into this book? I'm about halfway through. Yes, about halfway through. It says 40%. So I'm about halfway through this book. I would like to, I have to work on some homework yet tonight. It's about 10 p.m. on Friday, November the 4th. I have to write a paper for a course I'm taking here yet tonight. But after I get that paper done, I am going to sit down and read at least 100 pages of this book. Now, when I finish this one, I think I already have my fantasy book picked out. It is The Diviners by Libba Bray. I've already started it because I was trying to read it as part of the Fantasy Series Book Club read-along of that series. Things just kept getting in the way. But it is the first book in the series, and so since I've already started it, I might as well finish it during this series sampler to see, do I like this series and will I continue reading it? And I have not yet picked out the romance that I want to read, but it's definitely going to be one from a Kindle Unlimited. That's all I know. So that was a very long check-in, like probably 20 minutes long. So I'm going to go now. Hello, happy Saturday. It is Saturday, November 5th, and we've got some cat chaos going on in the house. One second. Gotta check this text. Yeah, we've got some kitten chaos going on, some cat chaos, some dog chaos. Just normal on-brand chaos. So, let's talk about In the Company of Witches. I keep forgetting that title and getting it mixed up with some other titles. I got my 100 pages read last night. Yes. Oh, side note, I went to Starbucks this morning and I got, so kitten chaos. What I've been doing lately is getting a hot drink because it's cold out, and then getting an iced drink as well. And then I have the iced drink the next day. Like, I put it in my fridge and I have it the next day. So for tomorrow, I got one of like the seasonal things, like the cookie, the iced cookie, almond milk latte, whatever. I got that. So I'll be able to taste test it with you tomorrow. But this is just my usual vanilla latte with an extra shot of espresso. That's my go-to drink at Starbucks and really anywhere. So the only other thing I like to add, if it's available, is lavender. So anyway, tell me down below what your standard coffee house drink is. Like, what is the thing when you're not going to try anything fancy? What is the thing that's like your go-to drink? Let me know down below. So In the Company of Witches, like I said, I got my 100 pages of it read last night before sleeping, and I'm finding that this book has a lot of inner monologue with the main character. It's told from first person point of view, and I think most of the time cozies are that way. Like, it's told from first person point of view, from the amateur sleuth's point of view. But this tends to have a lot of inner monologue going on, where she's thinking about her past, or she's thinking about the relationship dynamics with her family, or she's thinking about what's going on with the murder investigation. And it's getting to be kind of a lot. This is a longer cozy, actually. It's over 300 pages. I want to say it's like 330 some pages, which is a long cozy. Like, cozies are usually under 300 at the longest. I have seen cozies be like 150 pages, you know, like they're usually shorter, quicker reads. And I think that a lot of this inner monologue could have been cut out. Like, I think it's too much, and it might just be too much for my brain right now. I am not really interested in solving the mystery. Usually when I read a cozy, I like really enjoy the setting, the cozy vibes, and I really kind of sink into that. But then I also like to try to solve the mystery, and I'm pretty good at solving the mystery. But today, and with this book right now, with the headspace that I'm in, I just don't have the mental energy to try to solve the mystery, so I'm kind of going along for the ride. And because of that, because I'm not so interested in trying to solve it or figure it out, I find myself kind of tuning out that inner monologue sections of the book and just kind of zoning out as I read it, not really paying that close of attention to it, because I don't really care so much about the logic behind her sleuthing. And that could just be the, like I said, the headspace that I'm in right now. It might not be anything wrong with the book itself, but I am just noticing there tends to be a lot of that inner monologue and less actual like action than I typically like in a cozy. There's also a lot of dialogue, like a lot of conversations with people, which is fine. I mean, that's one of the ways that they investigate in a cozy mystery. That's one of the ways they sleuth, is just by talking to people. But there's a lot. There's a lot of dialogue and there's a lot of inner monologue in this one. And I guess I'd just like to see a little bit more action. And that's just like, that's a very like nitpicky criticism. I also am wondering if my reading experience of this is being influenced by how much I like The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, because I really am just kind of transposing that show onto the book. And like, the actors are playing the characters in the book, you know what I mean? And I think that that has created some bias for me as I'm reading it, to where I really am liking it more than I would were I not doing that. Like, had I never seen The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina and wasn't like fan casting it so hardcore, I probably wouldn't like this book all that much. So it's like a weird place to be in, where like I'm having trouble giving like an objective review of it, because for me this book is so tangled up with that show now. And I can't really separate them out, like how much I like that show versus how much I like this book. But like if I'm trying to be objective about it, I would say the large amounts of dialogue and the large amounts of inner monologue would be a major turnoff for me. And I would find a lot of the dialogue to be campy and weird had I not read it with the actors from Sabrina saying the dialogue. You know, like it makes sense with those characters, but I don't know that it makes sense with the characters in the book alone. And I don't know if any of this is making sense as I talk to you about it. That's just where I am with the book. I'm going to read another 100 pages tonight, and that'll probably put me close to the end. I might be able to finish it tonight. And then I'd like to pick up romance next, because the Diviners is long. It's like 500 pages and some. So I'd like to pick up a shorter romance to try and get just some reading momentum going for me here in the month, because I know that that longer book will stall me out a little bit. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, I have to do a lot of work. So the horses are staying in today. It is rainy and cold, and like they're prone to getting shivers in this kind of weather. So the barn manager is keeping them inside today in their stalls, which means that I don't have to go clean stalls because they're just going to be in them. So I think I am just going to take the day off from the barn and stay in and start really working on some other things. So like I'm having to find a bunch of extra cash fast with the situation with my father's estate. And so I'm needing to apply for like some side jobs for some extra teaching roles. And then I'm starting like a side business that I've been working on for a while in publicity, because that's like my area of study for school, for graduate work. And so I've been working on that, and I'm going to have to fast track it now and really get that rolling. And then I'm also starting to do like pet sitting for people, like anything I can think of that my skill set can serve and could make me some extra cash. Like I'm doing it. I'm getting the ball rolling. And I just need to get all of that organized. I need to get applications in. I need to get grades done for my actual full-time job. You know, I've got work to do with that. Get grades done. I've got to get homework done. So I'm going to rotate today, as I have done in other vlogs. I'm going to rotate between like work, homework, side gigs, housekeeping, reading. Thank God for coffee. Oh, thank you, buddy. Hello. Happy daylight savings time. I have a confession. It's noon. It's noon because I decided to have a little sleep in today because I'm tired and my brain is soup. I have here the iced latte that I got yesterday. This is the iced grande sugar cookie almond milk blonde espresso with an extra shot of espresso. I always get an extra shot of espresso. So we're gonna, all the ice melted, so we're gonna put it in some fresh ice and give it a try. Oh, that's rank. Oh, I don't like that. Nope, nope. Let me try one more time. Nope, nope. This is not one I will be getting again. That is rank. I just taste like sweet chemical is what it tastes like. You know, when you get like vanilla, it tastes like vanilla and sweet. When you get caramel, it tastes like caramel and sweet. This just tastes like sweet chemical. Don't like it. Don't like it. Now, caveat to this, I'm still recovering from COVID and I did lose my sense of smell and taste. So maybe that's part of it. Maybe I'm not fully tasting it because of my lingering COVID symptoms. But I could taste the vanilla just fine that I got yesterday. I'm still gonna drink it because, like, I'm not gonna waste the caffeine, but yeah, won't be getting that one again. Whew. Last night I did finish In the Company of Witches by Orly Wallace, and I think it's gonna be a 3-star. Here, let me just put it through my compile system while I've got you here, because why not? Hopefully you're still in focus. I know my last clip was not, so fingers crossed. Okay. Compile. Characters. I liked the characters, but here's the thing. Again, I liked them because I was transposing the characters from The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina onto them, not because I liked the characters from the book alone. This is probably the most complicated rating I've had to give all year because there's just so many factors going into what I liked or didn't like, and most of them are not objective. So I'm having a hard time like giving you, my dear viewers, like a good review of whether or not you would like it. So, okay, I'm just gonna, characters. If I try to separate it, COVID, if I try to separate it from the show, I think characters are a 6. Atmosphere, I really like the atmosphere a lot. I like the small town. I like the witchiness. I mean, most cozies are set in a small town, so that's nothing new. But this one definitely had like a Gilmore Girls vibe to it. Like they had like a town hall meeting and everything. 8. Just because I feel like we spent most of our time in dialogue and not enough time in the town, if that makes sense. So an 8. Writing, there were some really good lines in this. I read you a couple of them in my first check-in. So I think that in that sense, like the writing is good. Like the writing had some depth to it. There was like a strong sense of like coping with grief as a theme, and the ways that people cope or don't cope with grief in different ways. Can't talk today. So I think the writing was good. It wasn't like a Julia Buckley cozy where the writing was just beautiful, exquisite, something to be appreciated in and of itself. But it was enough that it made me take notice. So I'll give it a 7. Plot. And with plot, the plot was interesting. So the way that the mystery wrapped up, it was interesting. It was different from other cozies I've read. And I'm not going to tell you why, because that would definitely be spoiler territory. I like the plot. I like the way the magic was interwoven into the plot and had an effect on how the mystery was solved and how things culminated in the end. I liked how Bren had her own sort of arc in dealing with loss and grief. I liked how there were different... Kitten. She just fell off my desk onto my lap. Say hello. I liked how there were different animal companions that played a role in the plot. I really liked Gideon's role in the plot because you would think he's sort of just a side character, but then he ends up actually playing a pretty important role. I'm going to give plot a 7. Intrigue. So with intrigue, I also look at pacing. And the thing that really got in the way of my personal intrigue for this book is something I've mentioned before, which is the really heavy amounts of dialogue and inner monologue. I think that that probably could have been cut in half, and then the book would have been shorter to a more standard cozy length and been more intriguing and more well-paced. Because once we got out of the heavy dialogue and like in the last third of the book really got into some of like the action, where she's casting a spell and she's out around town dealing with the consequences of this spell, and it's not just like people talking. I really, really liked that. So I'm going to give intrigue a 5. Logic, I mean, it was logical. Hang on, my cat's eating a plant. This kitten is trouble. My name's Pippi, and I was eating a plant because I'm naughty. It made sense to me how, like, the murder was solved. It made sense to me why certain characters did certain things, like their motivations matched their actions and were consistent. I'll give logic an 8. Enjoyment is the last one. It was middle of the road for me. I think if I took away the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina from my brain and just read the book alone instead of like seeing the connection between the two, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it nearly as much as I did, because the dialogue at points got cheesy and there was a lot of dialogue. So I think, like, if I were to be really objective about it, and try to see the book just as the book itself, as its own standalone piece of art, instead of transposing a television show on top of it, I'd probably give enjoyment a 6. So that leaves us with a star rating of a 3-star, which actually that's what I was predicting it would be. That was like my gut instinct was, this is about a 3-star read. So that is sort of my wrap up of that book, which is called In the Company of Witches. Will I continue the series? Because that's the point of this vlog, the series sampler vlog, is to see, will I continue the series that I'm sampling the first books of? And yeah, I think I will give this second book in this series a try. The second book is out. I think I would give it a try. It's not one that I'm like itching to read at the moment, but I could see myself at some point craving that setting again and craving those characters again. So I would say it's not a full, like, excited yes. I'd say yeah. Yeah, I'll give the second one a go. I definitely like the book better than I like this latte. I did pick out the romance that I'm going to read next, and it is book 1 of the Mind F series by S.T. Abby. This is a series of novellas. So I thought, you know, I need a book that's kind of short, easy to get through. The first book is 130 pages, so I can probably read it all today. And the first book is called The Risk. It is a dark romance. I don't really know what it's about. And I can't tell, I'm reading the book description on Goodreads. I can't tell from this description what it's about. It looks like the man is some sort of hero who catches bad guys. It's very vague. It's a very vague description. And I don't understand what the woman is. It just says she's collecting debts that are owed to her, and she's like seeking revenge. Very vague description. I have no idea from that what this is going to be about. But I've heard really good things about this series from my friends here on BookTube who are really into dark romance. And I think there was a book club who read them all. I think it might have been the Classic Literature Book Club that read the series as part of their book club. I don't remember which book club it was, but they read it recently and it got a lot of like really good reviews from a lot of different romance readers. I really like dark romance, as you all know if you've been here for a while at the Lovestead. And we're going to give this one a try and see where it takes us. All right, that's the check-in. Miss Pippi has created a grand mess because she keeps climbing this moss pole and knocking my plant over. So I like stacked a bunch of stuff by the table. Birds, I'll explain in a minute. I stacked a bunch of stuff against the table to try and block her from the table so she can't get access to the plant that sits right there. She keeps knocking it over, so now I'm having to refill the dirt because now it's like super unstable. And my brother just returned from Chicago where my dad's second funeral was, and he came back with birds. These are my auntie's birds. She sent them with my brother to me unexpectedly. So I have birds now. So chaos is my brand.
So I'll show you this once I've cleaned it up, because kittens, y'all, I really tried to stack it to keep the kitten away, and it just became a huge mess. So here's the before along with kitten. And I'll show you the after once I get the plant taken care of. I've got so many aerial roots on it too. And I guess with monsteras, you can cut the aerial roots and it'll be fine. So I'm going to trim those. I'm going to get the doit potted nice and firm. Get it watered. Get it back in its spot along with the other plants that were there. Clean the pippy mess up. It's just one of many projects for this evening. Oh, it's Thursday. Nope, it's not. It's Monday. Oh my gosh. It's Monday. Not even close to Thursday. It is Monday, November 7th. I haven't read a whole lot of The Risk yet. All right, so I topped off the soil so it will hopefully be more stable. Have it leaning against the wall. Fingers crossed that this works and is kitten proof.
Hello, happy or not so happy election day, depending on where you are, what you want, and how things turn out. I did vote today. I put my sticker in my bullet journal. You need proof? Okay, fine. There it is, right there. The I voted sticker. I voted today. It's Tuesday the 8th. Yesterday I started filming a little bit of cleaning up my office. So I'm going to be taking you along with me as I clean up my house. My house is a wreck right now because of something going on in my life. It's not great. I'm not going to talk about it a whole lot. My partner and I of 10 years are separating. And when you've lived with someone for 10 years, your stuff gets intertwined. So we're basically turning the house upside down, making sure all of their stuff is separated from my stuff. This is my house. I own the house, so I'll be staying here. That's all I'm going to say about that. Just know we're going to go on a journey together of turning the house upside down and then putting it back together in some semblance of order. Starting with this little corner in my office that I started working on yesterday that I had tried to kitten proof. I saw in the movie, I haven't read the book. I know it's a book too, but the movie Under the Tuscan Sun, there's like a phrase in that that's really cute, or that I like, that feels meaningful to me, where the lady is like, you should go room by room and introduce yourself to this space and just take it one little step at a time. That is what I will be doing with my house, because basically my plan is to kind of do the Spark Joy method. What is it? Who is that? Who did that? It's the KonMari method. So it's Marie Kondo. The Marie Kondo method. And instead of doing like whole rooms, I'm just going to do like little corners at a time and work my way through the room. And declutter and clean and figure out what I want my space to be living on my own. You hear the birds chirping in the background. They're doing fine. They had some adjusting to do. Like they were really stressed yesterday coming back on that drive home from Chicago with my brother. But they have adjusted and adapted. As you can hear, they're very chatty. I am adjusting and adapting to them as well. I'm sure that I will grow to love them, but for now it was kind of a big unexpected change. So let's move on to some good things. Not that the birds aren't good. Like I said, I'm sure I will learn to love them. First, I got some book mail. Now the thing is, it doesn't say who it's from. It just says thinking of you. Okay, I'm excited to see what this is. It's had to have been something someone got me from my Amazon wish lists. And it feels really heavy. So I think it's a big chunky book. And feels like there might be two in here. Ah, there's two in here and they're both hardcover. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see what they are. Lovestead, Diary of Blood. I have been wanting to read this. This is a vampire story. It's by S.T. Gibson. I think this is like a retelling of Dracula's Brides, basically, is what this is. And I'm so excited to read this. This was recently reprinted by a major publisher because she originally published through an indie publisher. And then it got picked up. So this is not the original cover. This is the reprinted cover, which I'm good with. It's gorgeous. Look at that! Okay, let's see what the other one is. Thank you to whoever sent this. Oh my gosh, it's huge. Oh, Empire of the Vampire by J. Kristoff. Got a vampire theme going on here, which I'm here for it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Tell me who you are. Like, who sent this to me? Please tell me so that I can properly thank you. Part of me has a hunch it is someone from Janagaton's Lair, which is her Patreon that I'm a member of, because we've all been talking about both of these books, and we're buddy reading this one. I have it on hold at the library, which I can cancel that hold now. So if that was one of you from the Lair, please let me know. This is so nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're never obligated to get me anything, but goodness, I appreciate this, and I will definitely be reading both. Ooh, there's illustrations in this. That is gorgeous. So excited. Oh, that makes me even more excited to read it, that there's illustrations in it. How cool is that? Hopefully it's good. It's a thickin'. Okay. So thank you so much. Okay. Next. Do you remember back in October when Doll, my horse, and I did our first horse show? We did a showmanship competition. I'll link you to the vlog up here. We got the results back. And, you know, I had mentioned that I was fully expecting to come in last place. We got 6th place, which was worth a ribbon. And it's so pretty. I mean, look at it. It's so pretty. It says 6th place, Showmaster Virtual Horse Show Series. I will be framing this because our first show, my first ever horse competition, I get a ribbon? What? Okay, reading update. I have started The Risk by whoever wrote it. I'll put the cover up here. And so far the premise of this is I think that the main heroine, the female character, is like an assassin or something. Or she's doing something where she's enacting revenge, violent revenge on people. She's like really good at reading people. And she happens to come across this FBI agent in a restaurant. And there's like a moment where they read each other and they're like listing off all these things about each other that they picked up on just based on like body language and how the conversation went. Kind of like what Sherlock's Home would do in the newer like Sherlock episodes. I guess they were newer years ago, but anyway. So there's like this tension because the guy's automatically like, you're guarded because you've been hurt before, you're distant, you're aloof. What, Duppa? Oh, hang on. He needs food. And then she's like, she just reads him against like his partner that he has. Like his partner's a jerk and like comes from money. And so she's like, he's a jerk who comes from money and you dress modestly to make sure that he feels like you're equal to him, even though you're far superior to him. And so on and so forth. And that's what's happened so far and what I've gotten through. I read it during waiting for my Starbucks in the Starbucks line this morning before I went to go vote. And after I did an intake for a pet sitting job. So I didn't get a whole lot of reading. I got about 20 minutes worth of reading done. And so far, I actually like it. I feel like they're packing a lot of good information in a small amount of words, a lot of character development in a small amount of a small amount of text. And it's not like cheesy. I'm genuinely interested in where this is going. So that's the reading check-in. That's the general check-in. Oh, these birds.
Here's the progress that I made on this corner. So I had to take the slip cover off the couch and wash it because it was covered in plant dirt. But it's being washed. Dog's loving it right now. And then, oh my goodness. Hang on, I've got a spray bottle. Uh-huh. Thank you. Noodle Soup and Pot Pie are valiantly guarding the plant corner. I have a spray bottle now to squirt her, which clearly that works. This plant is up and going again. All the other plants are back in place. Miss Frida is there. So, progress.
Hello, it is Saturday the 12th, and I finished The Risk by S.T. Abbey, and it was fine. It's a 3-star read for me. So what this is actually about, since when I introduced this book, I had no idea what it was actually about. What it's actually about is this female serial killer who is seeking revenge by killing a bunch of guys and torturing them and dismembering them. And then the FBI agent who is hunting her, and they meet and fall in love, and he doesn't know who she is. And it kind of ends on a cliffhanger. And it looks like the next book in the series picks up with the same two main characters, which is interesting because a lot of times romance novels will focus on different love stories in each book. But it looks like this one might focus on the same one throughout the series, which will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see kind of that process of him figuring out who she is and making sense of it, and her hiding her identity. Like, I think it'll be an interesting story, an interesting trajectory. And so yeah, I think I will read the next book in the series for this, since this is a series sampler vlog. Now, I was really hoping to get through 3 books for this. It's not going to happen because this vlog is getting long and it's already heading into the next week, and I want to get it posted, so I'm doing at least a vlog a week. So we're not going to have 3 books, but we got through 2, and then hopefully the next time I do a series sampler, I'll get that 3-book goal taken care of. So this has been the vlog for the day. Since we're dealing with a serial killer in the second book and a murderer in the first book, if you just want to leave me an emoji to let me know that you're here, go ahead and leave me the knife emoji. And until next time, make sure that you continue to read good books, drink good coffee, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye!